Morning, I'm Rex Robinson with the Times Weekly, and I'm here today with Mayor Ray Soliman of Crest Hill, who's running for his second term against opponent Pete Delaney. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Rex. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Well, first, I want to give you a chance here to talk about your first term in office, some of the things that you've accomplished.
Sure.
Want to go over some of that?
That'd be great. And let me say that I served for 16 years on the city council prior to becoming the mayor. So I was an alderman in Ward 1 from 1993 to 2009. Ran for mayor in 2009 and was successful, so that I am finishing up my first term, my first 4 years as the mayor of Crest Hill. And I believe that we've had several accomplishments over the last 4 years. We've changed the culture and philosophy of the city of Crest Hill. I believe that we have improved the quality of life for all of our residents in the city of Crest Hill. And I believe that I've brought back some professionalism and respectability back to the city of Crest Hill. I'm very proud to say that these last 4 years, from an economic standpoint, probably the worst times in our country since the Depression. But I'm proud to say that we've had a balanced budget here in the city of Crest Hill with a small surplus for the last 4 years. And we did not have to cut any positions from the city of Crest Hill. One of the proudest accomplishments is the electric aggregation referendum that we passed in 2011. And we were the first of 19 communities in the entire state of Illinois to pass the electric aggregation recs. And what that did was lower the electricity costs for our residents and small businesses in the city of Crest Hill by 25% on the supply portion of your electric bill. For the last year and a half, our residents have incurred a $200 per year savings on their electric bill and a $1.5 million savings throughout the city of Crest Hill with the electric aggregation. And we will certainly looking now in the future to find rates that are even lower for our residents so they can incur some additional savings as we move forward in the future.
In fact, you're looking at some companies now. You're out to bid on that. Is that how it works?
The contract that we had was for 2 years, and the contract will expire with Direct Energy in September of 2013. So we're currently working with NYMEC, Mr. Dave Hoover, who is our consultant on this project, who deals with the electricity rates on a daily basis. And we are currently exploring our options right now as we speak. And as time gets closer to the end of the contract, Rex, we will either stay with Direct Energy or we will choose another supplier to deal with that will offer lower rates than what we are currently getting. So we will take the best option and the most savings to our residents and small businesses, and we will lock ourselves in for either a 1, 2, or 3 year contract depending on what the offer is. You know, we're currently building a new sewage treatment plant on the east side of town, and we are using Build America bonds with that, and we saved our residents $2.1 million over the life of the bond. We've done an extensive sewer lining program to stop flooding, to help stop flooding in the city of Crest Hill, which has been a problem that we've had for the last 40 years in our town. And we were able to secure a $1.5 million grant from the state of Illinois through our lobbyist, Brent Hassert. So we were able to line 80% of the sanitary sewers throughout the city of Crest Hill to help alleviate flooding and to help alleviate the infiltration of rainwater into the system that we would have to treat at our treatment plant during heavy rainstorms. Let me say that our lobbyist has saved us over the last 2 years, and I hired Brent Hassert as our lobbyist in 2011. For the last 2 years, that gentleman has saved us $2.4 million to the residents of the city of Crest Hill through his lobbying efforts in Springfield. We successfully passed a sales tax referendum last year in 2012. We went to referendum. We asked our citizens to support us in a sales tax increase, and 70% of our residents voted in favor of the referendum. Now that referendum is bringing us in additional revenue, which is being fiscally responsible to the city of Crest Hill, and what that has allowed us to do is to hire additional police officers. With the additional monies that have so far brought in, we've hired 2 additional police officers in the city of Crest Hill who are currently in training, and they will be on the street at the end of this month for a 6-month training period here with field training officer. And there is a 5-year plan that has been created by all the departments within the last 2 years at our request from the city, and there is a need for additional officers to improve public safety, and we will certainly do that in a fiscally responsible manner, because I feel that being fiscally responsible, we need to be able to meet payroll, we need to be able to pay health insurance, we need to be able to pay pensions for all of our police officers. And with the additional sales tax revenue, that is being fiscally responsible to fund that through the sales tax referendum money. We also have many infrastructure problems in the city of Crest Hill, about $12 million worth of infrastructure problems to help alleviate flooding, and part of that money from the sales tax referendum will go towards that, in addition to road improvements that are sorely needed, and our Public Works Department has created a 5-year plan for every street in the city of Crest Hill, rated it as to when it needs to be repaired and what type of repairs it needs to be done. So that income that will come from the sales tax revenue, the additional sales tax, will be used for those 3 projects. And in addition, we will be offering all of our residents, homeowners, and our business owners in the city of Crest Hill a property tax rebate beginning a year from now in the spring of 2014. 25% of the city portion of your property tax bill. So let me explain that. If your tax bill is $5,000 in the city of Crest Hill, the city of Crest Hill will receive 7% of that $5,000. So let's just round it off to $350 of that $5,000 bill is used for the city of Crest Hill, for police officers, for our streets, for our treatment plant, for our administration here at City Hall. We will be giving a rebate of 25% on that $350. So every year from hereafter, as long as I am the mayor and the city council agrees with it, we will continue to rebate our residents on a yearly basis after the taxes are incurred from the previous year. So we are giving money back to our residents from the additional sales tax referendum. And in all reality, most of our sales tax that is generated in the city of Crest Hill, just as any other city, most of it comes from our visitors. So we are having our visitors who are shopping in our businesses and in our city. We are using actually their money that they are investing into our money, just as I invest other money as I go around to other cities. And we're using that money from the sales tax referendum to complete all these projects and to give money back to our residents. The last thing I'd like to talk about is economic development in the city of Crest Hill. Very, very important to us. Prior to myself becoming mayor in 2009, we did not have any type of economic development. I started an economic development committee of 2 of our aldermen, Alderman Convery and Alderman Inman. We hired an economic development director by the name of Mr. Brian Gay. It was very, very, very successful for the last 4 years. The economy is not helping us, but I believe that we are starting to turn things around, seeing a little bit more building happening throughout not only Crest Hill, but all of the communities. But I'm proud to say that we've added 138 new businesses to the city of Crest Hill over the last 4 years. Some of the most notable ones that we've had is the Sonic Drive-In, the Harbor Freight in the Hillcrest Shopping Center, and the Hillcrest Shopping Center is full and viable. The El Guero grocery store, which is right next to City Hall here, and the older residents of the city remember that as the old Eagle grocery store, has been a tremendous addition. It just opened up in the city of Crest Hill. The Marathon gas station is set to open here in a few weeks. On Division Street, we added the Aaron Thomas Company, which is a subsidiary of the Frito-Lay Corporation. So I'm sure when you see the 50 packs of Cheetos, Fritos, and Doritos when you go to Sam's and Walmart, that's what we do here in the city of Crest Hill. That employs 200 individuals at that business. Right next door is the Goglanian Bakery, which that building sat vacant for many years. We were able to market that, and that is going to be opening here in the next few weeks also. That will employ 200 employees, and they are responsible for the pizza crust for Pizza Hut, Sam's, Walmart, and other bakery products. And then 2 trucking terminals, Dayton Freight and Old Dominion, will be there also. 200 employees at each business, so that's 800 employees, Rex, within a quarter of a mile, and new businesses that were brought to the city of Crest Hill. And you know, the employees, they have to shop in our city, so they have to go to our grocery stores, they have to go to our restaurants, they have to go to our gas stations. So it does spur the economy as we move forward. And then on Weber Road, we're seeing the building of the new library that is next to the Menards. And that new library, I could tell you, that has sparked a lot of interest from phone calls that we have received here. So, you know, economic development is very, very important to us. We will continue to market our city, to promote new businesses to come to our city, and we'll also work with our existing businesses to make sure that we can help them in any way that we can to make them a successful business in the city of Crest Hill. Now, unfortunately, our economic development director has resigned because he has accepted another position in DuPage County. He is actually the head of the Economic Development Committee in DuPage County. And you know, he'll be sorely missed. And my plan going forward here is if I become re-elected as your mayor, I will certainly reach out and we will start the process to find a replacement for Brian. And we wish him well because he did do an awful lot of good things for our city. He brought a lot of development to the city of Crest Hill.
When was that he left?
He left, actually he left at the end of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget the day he came into my office and he told me that he had to resign as our economic development director, and he had tears coming down his eyes, and I thought that he had some kind of terminal illness, and I really felt bad. And he says that he did not seek the position, that the DuPage County sought him out. So I guess the old adage of, you know, they come after your good people is a true adage, because he said that DuPage County sought him out. He went on the interview as a courtesy, and he said it was an opportunity too good to pass up. And I'll be honest, he's a young man. He's in his late 20s with a young family, and I certainly didn't want to stop him from pursuing his goals and his dreams. And you know, I wished him well, and like I said, he did a tremendous job putting us on the radar screen, somewhere that we were never at before in the economic development world. He opened up many, many contacts for us, many, many doors. And you know, we still have a good relationship right now with him, so we can still use him. But like I said, moving forward, if I become the mayor, it's my goal to reach out. We'll start the process to hire a replacement for him, because I think that it is an integral part of this city to have an economic development director in this world that we live in today, to market ourselves.
Okay. In terms of your opponent, Mr. Pete Delaney, former Planning and Zoning Commissioner, what would you see as some of the major differences, just briefly here, some of the major differences between you and Mr. Delaney?
Well, I think my experience speaks for itself. I actually was a police officer in the city of Crest Hill from 1980 to 85. I am currently employed at the Westmont Post Office for 27.5 years. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Crest Hill, been married to my wife for 30 years, have 2 grown daughters. I served as on the Plan Commission myself for 2 years, from 1991 to 1993. And I was an alderman, as I said earlier, from 1993 to 2009, and now mayor for the last 4 years. So that's 27 years of my 55 years has been given back to the city of Crest Hill. And I think that experience goes a long, long way in the world today. I think my loyalty, my commitment to the city of Crest Hill, I'm proud to say that in my 20 years sitting at this table, Rex, I've missed 1 city council meeting due to an illness. So I think my commitment, my loyalty, my dedication to the city of Crest Hill, and my experience leads me to be re-elected as mayor. And you know, I'm very, very proud to be the mayor of this city. And we've come a long, long way. But I'm not satisfied. I think that we have a lot more to accomplish. But I think that I am the right choice to lead this city for the next 4 years.
Okay. Mr. Delaney has been critical of a few things under your administration. Very briefly, one of the things he talked about was the gateways to the city. He said this looked bad, and he particularly pointed out one that where there's an abandoned building that I guess is owned by the state. Maybe you could clarify that. And then he also said that there were too many police officers on desk duty and not enough on the street. And then he also pointed out that there were too many fees for new businesses looking to set up shop in Crest Hill. Can you briefly touch on these things?
Sure. The gateways to the city, I mean, that's part of economic development also, and you know, Broadway Street is in need of a lot of help, but Broadway Street is probably 60 plus years old, so a lot of the buildings that were built on Broadway Street, built back then 60 years ago before we became a city, would not meet the city requirements today. However, I constantly talk with our state legislators, and working with our lobbyist Brent Hassert in Springfield, we have applied in the past for ITEP grants. They are enhancement programs for the city of Crest Hill for state roads such as Route 53, Broadway Street in Crest Hill, Theodore Street, and Plainfield Road. We've been unsuccessful in the last 3 years to acquire any of these grants for beautification and enhancement to those areas, but we'll continue to keep applying for those grants. Sooner or later we will be the recipient of one of those grants. We are working with the Village of Romeoville now at the four-legged intersection of Renwick and Weber Road for enhancement of the median strips with some landscaping there. And we've also worked with changing the entryway signs into the city of Crest Hill through the Economic Development Committee. So we have made improvements, but we'll continue to reach out for all grants that are accessible to the city of Crest Hill.
And the other thing he again touched on was the police department and the
police department. I can tell you, when I became the mayor in 2009, Rex, we had 25 sworn officers. Today we have 28 sworn officers. When I appointed Dwayne Wilkerson as the chief of police, we sat down here as a group at this table with the city council, and we agreed that the police department needed to be restructured and reorganized. And just like any business, any police department, when you restructure a department, you start from the top down, you don't go from the bottom up. Now, prior to the chief becoming the police chief, our structure of the police department was a chief, a lieutenant, and 5 sergeants. And the 5th sergeant was basically an administrative sergeant that was in charge of a lot of the administrative paperwork on a day-to-day basis, and then a fill-in for the other 4 sergeants when they would go on vacation. The restructuring of the police department was needed because that was not probably the most efficient way to run a police department. So the police chief came up with the idea of restructuring the police department, and the way it is set up now is we have a chief, 2 deputy chiefs, a deputy chief of patrol and a deputy chief of administration, and we have 4 sergeants. Now we have the same amount of police officers in administration today with the restructuring that we did prior. There were 7 officers prior to, and there's 7 officers in administration now. It's just a total restructure of the department, and we are more efficient, and the officers are more accountable to improve public safety for the residents in the city of Crest Hill. And I have to say that I believe that this has worked out very well because there is more accountability, there is more efficiency. We are able to do other things such as a hearing officer here for some minor violations. I believe that the chief has done, along with the police department, a fantastic job over the last 4 years of promoting our police department and providing better service to our residents.
Okay. And then the final thing being the fees for new businesses.
Yeah, we had an antiquated system here at the city for many years. Businesses that would come into the city were charged $25 for a permit fee. The system was antiquated. We had 750 businesses that were on our record books here. When Brian Gay came in as the Economic Development Director, we restructured that program also to be more beneficial for the city of Crest Hill. We now charge our businesses $50 per year, but we have an accounting now. We have more information in regards to the businesses that we've ever had before. We take that money and we put it back into the community through marketing. We did a scavenger hunt at Christmas time in which 40 of the businesses were involved, and we gave out prizes to many of our residents. We advertised in the local newspapers for our businesses, and that's part of the cost. We offset the cost of those advertising fees from the $50 per year permit fee that we charge for our businesses. So we are promoting our businesses. We are trying to market our our existing businesses to make them more viable in the city of Crest Hill, and also we're trying to attract new businesses to the city of Crest Hill, and we welcome those.
Okay. Just lastly, what are you hearing out there? You're out there campaigning. What are you hearing from the voters?
I'm pounding on the doors, and you know, I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, and I think that people are happy. I think they've seen a lot of changes in the city of Crest Hill over the past 4 years, and they see that we have a vision, we have a direction, and we have a plan now moving forward. And I feel that I am the right choice for the city of Crest Hill for the next 4 years. As I've told you here earlier, I've given 27 of my years of my life to the city of Crest Hill through working through the police department, the plan commission, the city council, and now as the mayor. And I believe that experience goes a long, long way sitting at this table. I think you have to use your stability, you have to use your commitment and your dedication to your advantage sitting at this table. And I'm proud to say, Rex, that I've missed one city council meeting in 20 years. So I believe that my commitment, my dedication, and my service to this city speaks for itself. And I'm very, very proud to be the mayor of the city of Crest Hill. I feel that we've brought, like I said, a lot of professionalism and respectability back to our city, and I look forward to being reelected. I look forward to being the mayor for the next 4 years, moving this city forward in a proactive manner, trying to give money back to our residents through the property tax rebate, through the electric aggregation program. I believe that's good government. That's being fiscally responsible to our residents, to improve the city, to improve roads, to improve the services, and to give money back to our residents. I think that's a win-win situation for everybody, and I ask for your support on April 9th to be re-elected as your mayor in the city of Crest Hill. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mayor, for your time today, and I wish you luck in your re-election.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.